Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining tonight's episode called No Water Station for You. It's a take on the
No,
episode from Seinfeld where the soup Nazi denies the group soup.
no soup for
No
you?
soup for. I don't know if anybody outside of the hospital system has been privy to this wonderful system that we have of putting your food and beverages in certain spots, but we had that distinct privilege. Like we were third graders in elementary school being told by the teacher not to have our stuff out while they're being taught. And so that's going to be our experience. And it usually revolved around management coming up right at shift change and telling us that they had a meeting and everybody needed to come up to the meeting, and because we need to discuss some
Oh, yeah.
topics before you guys go home and you all come on shift. So
Chris, we had to do it at the whiteboard.
the whiteboard, it's down at the
Sacred.
altar of healthcare in the hospital systems, the all-powerful whiteboard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the great and powerful Oz. It tells you all. Well,
Yeah.
I remember the main thing that we wanted to do was get out of that hospital, and we would have management say, please, please, we need to discuss some topics. And usually it was like 4 times a year. And it was very reminiscent of when churches would ask for tithes. Like, we want your money. So like 3 or 4 times a year, churches are like, we need your money. And in healthcare is the few times that JCO come around. Do you remember what they told us about JCO?
They told us that we weren't allowed to have it at the nurse station and everything had to be put away. It wasn't even allowed to be at that water station initially. We had to keep it in a break room, which then obviously we weren't drinking anything.
So what JCO is? It's kind of an accrediting body that allows these organizations to take that insurance. They also help the facilities stay within compliance. So they would have these auditors come around once or twice a year, and around that time, managers would be like, now we need to have a discussion at the whiteboard at shift change. And all you really wanted to do, again, was to get out of there, especially if you have just
Get
coming back.
report.
No, you want to get your shift started, and because med pass is pretty quick. Usually you can, if you're giving it to the report to the same nurses, you can get out of there pretty quick. But if you're not, you just
To
want
be
to.
quite honest, at shift change, that's when all the stuff goes down.
Oh yeah, the
So you're
codes.
trying to get out of there before it really goes down.
Oh yeah, I mean, imagine what it was like. I remember what it was like getting involved in codes at shift change because night shift didn't exactly round on their patients, and day shift was coming in, and that's when we had a lot of codes, and that's exactly
Yeah.
when management decided, hey, let's have a impromptu 30-minute meeting to discuss topics for the day, and specifically JCO. They knew JCO was coming in, so they wanted to make sure that all of us were in compliance. And one of those was food and beverages at the nurses station. And so I remember particularly that's when management, upper level facility management would come through the units, and at various times through the day, you would hear, oh, they're coming, like it was like coming
The
from the
Voceras
Revolutionary.
would start coming off.
Oh yeah, the Vocera,
The
you'd hear ding
Voceras
ding
would start
ding.
coming off from where we would stat page your colleagues.
Yeah, but before that, we had to do like the wisp method, and all of us were like, "Oh, they're coming," and we would hide all of our drinks in drawers, and our power bars and our candy bars and whatever we could in
We'd
drawers.
throw open the drawer. We had cupboards in our nurse station. We would just open those cupboards, throw them in there real quick, and be on your way. I don't think management actually opened those cupboards ever.
I don't think they ever opened them either. I mean, there was some that we opened up, and you're like, this piece of paper's from like 7 years ago. They
Hmm.
never went through them. They were dusty. They were nasty, and that's where we put our food and
Yep.
beverages because if it's like.
Infectious disease. They don't want us to have the food and beverages at the nurse station too.
Yeah.
Yet they can have 7-year-old paper
Yeah, it's
laying around.
odd. Like a lot of the doctors, especially from infectious disease, would come in with their drinks and beverages and sit in at the nurse's station.
Just a little coffee.
Yep, which is one of the privileges that I had when I was an MP, and I drink a lot of coffee. And before then, I could never have that stuff at the nurse's station, but when I became a nurse practitioner, I could take it all around the hospital and nobody said a thing to me.
Oh, Wow, you're
Oh
special.
yeah, I'd get a big cup of
Really
coffee,
special.
kind of like size, and very blatantly obvious. I mean, you can't hide it in
Is
the
that at
drawers.
the right station there, Chris?
Yes, it is. It was right there in front of everybody.
Good.
And
Your water right now.
oh
Is it
yeah,
at the right
no,
station?
no, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's not back in the break room where it's supposed to be. My
That's
favorites.
okay. I got mine too.
That's right. Story was when we had one particular manager, and she sounded like she had stripper heels on, and walking down the hall, and you're like, oh, that's the sound of doom, literally the sound of doom. She would
It was.
she would show up, and
She was the
you know who it
worst.
was, and she would show up.
I know
She would show up at
exactly.
11 o'clock. Sometimes she would show up at 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning. You're like, when do you sleep? You know, like the hospital was her
I never
precious.
seen her that early,
I
but
did.
I'd see him right at 7:30, 8 o'clock.
No, no, not this one. She would
This must be different.
she would show up at 3 to 4, sometimes 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You're like, why? I just saw you here at 10 o'clock, and she would go home and come back, but you could hear her echoing down the hall, especially at night. There's not, in the middle of the night, there's not a lot of sound. There's beeping and stuff from the
Right.
monitors, but there's nothing like that. Nothing like the sound of Corella Deville or the Devil Wears Prada kind of heels coming down the hallway at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you would just hear like click, 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 and you knew she was coming. And usually when she showed up, that was a precursor to Jayco. And we would rush. I mean, we would have fluid spills in the drawers trying to hide our beverages and our bars and everything else. And she never looked in the drawers.
Probably didn't want to look in the drawers,
I
afraid of what she would
Yeah,
find.
I don't think so either. Another time we didn't have issues with management with food and beverages was during
Oh yeah. Oh, anything could fly during that time. They didn't say a word.
say a word. I mean,
Mm-mm.
you could probably cook a full meal on a grill and nobody from management would have been up there.
That's right, because where was management? But
Little vodka
hey,
martinis.
yeah, you know how you were saying that you as a provider could just walk in and sit your drink down and nobody would say a word.
Yep.
My manager at that time actually confronted a provider about having their coffee at the nurse
Oh my
station.
God, I
She
cannot
just
believe it.
she literally walked up to him and said, "You can have your coffee here," and picked it up and walked it over to the beverage station, which was outlined in a box. It was outlined.
That's nice. Like you don't know.
You know what box to
That's
stand?
like putting
Yeah.
your carpet square
Hmm.
back in kindergarten. Like here's your designated
Hmm.
spot.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah, good for her. I mean, I'll give the manager credit. At least they complied with regulations. But I tell you what,
No, and the doctors still did it. And if they left it and management came around, or even if we had beverages out there sitting out that wasn't supposed to be, and they came around and asked people, "Oh, that was the doctor. Doctor so and so was just here."
yeah, and then they would just walk away. They're like, oh
They
okay,
didn't care.
okay, let's just walk
Okay.
away. Okay, yeah, the doctors had special privileges.
Yeah.
It was the
Yeah,
most amazing thing.
absolutely. Mhm.
My
Yeah.
my favorite was when would show up, and if you forgot, which I don't see how this was possible, but every once in a while it did happen. If you brought a plastic water bottle or some sort of beverage onto the floor and out to the nurse's station, they would follow you and ask you what you're
Oh
doing.
yeah. They would be standing on the other side of the unit, just scouring over, looking for anything that they could write you up on. Anything,
Yeah,
but they would follow you.
I always felt like that we were prisoners and they were the guards. That's how much they kind of
Yeah.
watched you like a
Yep.
hawk.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. So I know this is a short podcast. Is there anybody you want to?
Yeah, this is MA week. I think we need to give a shout out to all of our medical assistants for all of their hard work that they do. They're under recognized, you know.
They are.
They do a lot of work so that us nurses can do our work. But yeah, they need a shout out.
Yep, they do. I at the organization I work for now have MAs. We actually go into people's homes, so they do our driving. So, and I sit in the back like Miss Daisy, and they drive.
Oh,
And we have some great conversations. It lightens the mood, especially with some of the homes we go into. Just today, one of my MAs that I go with, he got a lady that's a particular hard stick. I know in my lack of ability, since I have not drawn blood for years, that there is no way you would want me sticking anybody, even if I could hit their vein with a lawn dart, you would still not want me to do it. And
give yourself more credit.
And he got he got this lady on the first try, and he's awesome. They're all awesome that I work with, and I cannot do what I do without them. And unfortunately, they are sorely underappreciated and underrecognized.
Absolutely. Yep.
So what do you think our third episode?
Well, we actually had a nurse that we both know send us a message, and she, she's been going through nursing school. She's looking around for a job, getting prepared after she passes her boards and everything and finishes school. She's really wanting to know what the hiring process is, what to expect in interviews, and just how to navigate the healthcare system.
That's fair. There's a lot of, and we'll do the best we can. I think we've been out of it for a little while. I mean, we both had to do our recent interviews to get into positions we're at down in Columbus. But initial interviews are a little different from people that are not seasoned in the industry. And so it can kind of be intimidating for new grads to go into those interviews. So we'll see.
Absolutely. It's a totally different world out there.
Absolutely. And as always, this podcast is for us, by us. And by that, I mean healthcare workers for healthcare workers. We see you. Mm-hmm. We know who you are. We recognize you. And as always, we appreciate what you do. And we will try to do our best every single episode to shout out different groups that make all of our jobs easier and interconnected in the care that we deliver to patients that we see on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
All right. Next time, just keep an eye out on our TikTok at Forget Your Pizza Party. Please click the links to our various social media accounts. We will provide them down in the description below. Please click that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave comments. I'm not going to be, and I know Misty's not going to be one of those podcasters that just never checks the comments. Good, bad, or indifferent, we're going to try to communicate with everybody that we can and be interactive as possible.
We want to hear from you.
And we want to hear from you.
We want to hear from you.
We want to hear suggestions. The big suggestions that we want to cover, we want to get from you. You can reach us at forgetyourpizzaparty@gmail.com. We will check that email all the time. Thoughts that you might have. And if you want, we'll even shout you out on the podcast as this thing gets growing in popularity.
Absolutely.
Have a safe and productive week.
And make sure you stay hydrated. Get to that hydrating station.
That's keep your whatever hydration of your choice covered, because we don't want infectious organisms.
Absolutely not.
All right. Take care until the next time.
Till the next time.
Healthcare heroes on the grind, underappreciated. Weekend comes, but the pizza's not celebrated. Managers order, they just can't seem to get it right. We gather round, but we're ready for a bite tonight. No toppings, no love, cold slices on our plate. Pizza party, let the podcast begin. Healthcare warriors, let the laughter spin. Through terrible toppings and grease that we dread, we'll keep this conversation alive instead. Chit chat, laughter, it's our weekly unwind. But this cardboard crust feels like a sinister sign. Heartfelt stories wrapped in cheesy regret. As workers unite over this pizza we fret. A slice of happiness, more like a slice of pain. Pizza party, let the podcast begin. Healthcare warriors, let the laughter spin. Through terrible toppings and grease that we dread, we'll keep this conversation alive instead. So here's to the workers, may your pizza improve. our groove.